Now I gotta ride or die.
Autonomy is an illusion. Autonomy is an illusion.
So guys, welcome back to the channel. Today you join me from the driver's seat of a 2007 Ford Transit SportVan. So this is a 135 speed variant of the SportVan. Yes, Ford did actually call it the SportVan way back in 2007. We're going to go out and see what this is like to own, so what it's like to drive, prices, costs, MPG, everything. If you're after one of these, maybe now is the time to buy. But as ever guys, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, but onwards to some B-roads in a van. So 2007 Ford Transit 130 Sport Van. It says Sport on it, yes, but Ford actually, and I've done some research on this, let me know if I'm wrong in the comments, they called it the Sport Van. That is such a cool name for a van from this generation of Transit, the Mark 7, finished in performance blue, the proper blue, I'm going to call it, the Ford performance blue that every performance Ford should be in my opinion. Now this is actually based on the low roof short wheelbase 260 variant of the Transit from this generation with the 5-speed. We'll say firstly, driving this is an absolute pleasure. It's so easy to drive, it's so nice, it's relaxed. This one actually has the leather seat option as well, something that I'm going to say straight away, if you're up for owning one, get one with leather seats. They just are so much nicer. Now this actually has the 2.2 litre TDCi front wheel drive engine. This can get using rear wheel drive and a 2.4 litre, a little bit more power, but this is the 130 option. This one does have a map on it now. It's around 160 horsepower, around 320 newton meters of torque. Does make a very big difference in these Mark 7 Transits, I feel, to actually map them up. You do get a lot more out of it, and fuel consumption has actually got better since it's been mapped. I was talking to the owner about it, saying, what's your general costs of this thing? We'll get to that in a minute. The actual MPG went up as he mapped it, which is fantastic news for me. It means I get to relay something that is, yes, a performance mod onto you guys and say, but it will save you, hopefully, a little bit of fuel money on the way. But what is the Sport Van, you're asking? Well, it came with a few aesthetic mods, mainly bumpers, so it has a larger and lower front and rear bumper. It has a twin exit exhaust system in chrome. Look at that. I will say though, it is fake. The exhaust doesn't come out there. You can see it's blanked off a little bit. It does not come out there, but it does make the van, it makes it look proper. You also have sports badging on the back next to the 130 logos. It still retains its Van of the Year logo on the back as well. Other than that though, and the performance blue colour, you would have got stripes on this. With this being a performance blue though, it would have came with white stripes from the factory, so it would have had stripes on the bonnet, not actually going over the rest of the van. I think it was a little bit on the back. These have been actually taken off by the owner. As you can see, he has modified this variant. This is a genuine sport. It has a few modifications. He changed these out because he thought, well, they look a little bit too small on the Transit Sport Van. So the 20-inch wheels that it has at the moment actually feel the arches a little bit better. It is lowered as well. A few lowering mods, just to make this sit a little bit nicer on those 20-inch wheels. Of course, if you're after a factory standard one, they will be a lot higher with the original 18-inch wheels. And there's an alarm going off. and there's someone with a sub behind us in a Fiat Punto, completely standard 5-door with no hubcaps on it, just black steel wheels. Shout out whoever you are. I don't know if you guys can hear it in the background between the wee 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 and the buh buh buh. This is how you make YouTube videos. As we come out of that very loud, ear-piercing noises, we're actually cruising through town at the moment. This van is so easy to drive through town. You have big mirrors, which is fantastic, but you have a split mirror. So you have a top mirror, you can see right down the side of them, but it has the bottom mirror. If you don't know your transits, if you're after a transit, if you do know your transits, it's actually just pointing basically at the ground and the side and the rear wheel. So I can actually see everything with a quick glance, which is fantastic. There's a few deletions, let's say, in the exhaust system, makes it sound like it's making choo-choo noises, which is, I actually sort of quite like it. I'm not gonna lie, it actually sounds all right. From a van, you want a little bit more sound. This gives you the right amount of sound with no drone. So just deleting a few exhaust bits. The modifications as well are to the front end. There is a bull bar with lights, you have a sun visor at the top with a couple of lights in it as well, and you have a bug guard on the bonnet. So costs, we're going to get into the costs, because if you're looking at this video, you want to own one of these, you want to understand, as well as I did when I first got offered this vehicle, how much it is to actually have something like this. Now, regular transits, you can get them cheap. There are really rusty high mileage ones for 500, 1500, 2 grand, whatever. You can buy a cheap transit. You can put this kit on it if you so wish to, but there is quite a big significant one that I need to talk about. It actually has rear seats. Now, this van from the factory would have been a van with 3 seats at the front, but it actually now has 3 seats in the back, so it is a 6-seater. It's completely panelled out, dynamated in the back, so the owner can actually throw his kids in it, throw stuff in the back. It is actually a really peaceful place to be in here. It's very different to a panel van. It's had a lot of work back there to make it refined, which is really good news for me. I like the refinement that I find in some of these modified vans. It also, as you'll see from the pictures and the video, it has the rear windows cut in it. Of course, it would not have had side rear windows from the factory. These have been cut in by the owner because, again, he wanted to sort of convert it into more of a family bus, but something that you can use on a daily basis. So let's talk about costs, because if you're up for buying one of these and you want to know costs, I was quite intrigued to know the costs of this vehicle, because I do see them, but the Sport is a little bit more expensive than others. After a genuine Sport, they seem to retain their value quite well. So this one, 8-9 grand, you're actually looking for 125,000 miles. I had a good look round, and that seems to be the going rate for one with this sort of mileage. You can get a very low mileage one. I did see a very low mileage one for around 15 grand with about 40,000 miles on it. So if you're still up for buying a low mileage one of these, they are in circulation. There isn't too many of them though. There are out there, but there is a lot of transits out there, but there isn't too many nice sports with good mileage. I think 125,000 miles is nothing for a van. So I feel like this is, the best representation of this vehicle that I'm going to be able to find to shoot for you guys. Costs though, 33 mpg this is getting round town, just daily driving, going to school, going to work, all that sort of stuff. It's actually showing quarter of a tank at the moment, and if we cycle through, it's showing 140 miles to a quarter of a tank. Good mpg figures, there's good performance in this for a van. There is fantastic space, it makes choo-choo noises. Yes, it might cost you a little bit more in the offset to actually buy one of these. Maybe something to go up in time. I mean, I'm not sure the van market, I'm not sure how many of these are. Again, let me know in the comments below. Relatively low numbers I can only expect in sort of different configurations, but it means that these might become a bit more valuable over time. I feel like they probably have over time. I've had a look around today and I cannot find many cheap ones of these. So guys, let me know know in the comments below, do you like the Transit Sport Van? Is it something that you would go for? Am I right on pricing? And what are its main competitors? What else can you buy for this sort of money in the market today? But as ever guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you all on the next one.